I'm Marty Stouffer. Many of us identify with wild creatures. We think of them as free, independent of man, and able to take care of themselves. After all, that's what they've been doing for thousands of years. Through all that time, wild animals kept each other in check. When an animal increased in number, so would its predators. Natural cycles of disease and climate also helped maintain a balance. Fewer and fewer creatures now live in a world unaffected by man. Habitat, fractured by fences and highways, is being swallowed daily by suburbs and industry. In many regions, humans are the only remaining predators, and we're left with the job of managing wildlife. In the world of nature, all animals survive by feeding on other living things. In turn, all animals face threats from competition with their own kind, weather, disease, and predators. If none died, all animals would increase at an unbelievable rate. Nature is beautiful, but not always perfect. Even so, it remains beautifully balanced. Predators, by taking diseased, injured, and unfit animals, keep prey populations healthy. This continual struggle of the hungry and the hunted creates the balance. Plants make sugar from sunlight and support herbivores, plant eaters like cottontails, which transform the plant energy into living flesh. Then a carnivore, a meat eater like the coyote, can use the energy. This energy pyramid exists because there are far more plants than herbivores and far more herbivores than carnivores. Animal populations fluctuate as the availability of their food increases and decreases. Each of these cycles takes about 10 years to complete. This food chain is just one of the many in nature. Larger species like deer also belong to food chains. Deer, of course, are herbivores. They eat plants and use the energy to build body tissue and to provide heat and motion. Predators and scavengers, to survive, must eat flesh and transform its energy into their own heat and motion. The limits of a population are set by the environment in which it lives. Within those limits, the drama of survival unfolds as energy, vital to all life, is transferred. The contest for energy is not limited to wild creatures. It also includes man. The balance of nature was altered long ago when man entered the picture. He too had to hunt for food. He too had to compete. So man learned to kill the predators which threatened his food supply. And gradually, he became the greatest predator of all. Today, man still delights in the conquest of nature. Modern man continues to compete with predators, even though he no longer must hunt to survive. Most of our large wild predators have been killed off. Without them, certain prey species, like the white-tailed deer, will increase in number and suffer disease, stunted growth, habitat destruction, and eventually starvation. Wildlife managers seek to avoid these natural controls. They are after a sustainable yield, which can only be achieved by keeping deer populations in check. But how many is too many? Biologists try to discover the number of deer per acre which specific habitats can sustain. Making use of current technology, they put radio transmitters on the deer. Then, with a radio receiver, they monitor deer movement and survival. Deer get much attention because they're popular game animals and because hunting, through licenses and taxes on equipment, supplies most management funds. Finding a stricken deer, this biologist checks for signs of injury or disease. She'll take a bone marrow sample to confirm that the cause of death was malnutrition. In the opinion of some, hunting offers a kinder death than starvation. A large part of managing wildlife involves the limiting of animal populations through hunting by humans. Though sometimes controversial, hunting does control animal numbers. And it clearly provides much of the support which makes all wildlife management possible. This method is based on the concept that game can be harvested as long as enough breeding stock remains to produce another crop of similar size the following year. Yet thousands of animals continue to starve each winter, their numbers too great for the available food supply. Another management technique is winter feeding. I've brought alfalfa to help the elk during a hard winter.
Back up, Anna. Take a step back.
It's a tough job, though enjoyable, with the right attitude. Winter feeding is a temporary solution at best. It can't reach remote herds, and it concentrates those it can reach, which may mean outbreaks of disease. But the biggest criticism is that wildlife comes to depend on man. Yet in hard winters, these animals won't survive any other way. The human animal is the most dangerous of all species. It's the only one to destroy hundreds of other life forms and to pollute air and water. Yet this creature is also the most talented, with the power to preserve rather than plunder, to treasure rather than destroy. The very technology that can be so harmful is used by today's managers to survey and transplant wildlife. Here's another management solution. Pronghorn are being moved from an area they've overpopulated to a new range. These pronghorn are part of a success story. Through transplant projects like this one, their once depleted numbers are now greatly expanded. Wildlife management is an ongoing and difficult process. Before any project like this can be successful, an animal's needs, habits, reproductive rate, and adaptability to man must be known. Saving an animal's life is costly and time-consuming. Great care is taken, like clipping their horns, to prevent travel injuries. The goal of management is to balance the needs of wildlife with the needs of humans. We too have expanded our range and spread out well beyond our cities. As a result, habitat loss is now a far greater problem than even the loss of predators. Industry, agriculture, and housing are claiming hundreds of millions of acres a year. Wetlands are the richest and most productive of our habitats, yet they're often thought of as wastelands, better drained and filled for human expansion. They're disappearing at an alarming rate. Though rapidly declining, a habitat this rich will still allow some species, like the raccoon, to greatly increase. When food, shelter, and water are abundant, most offspring survive, which means overpopulation. Too many of a given species will deplete even a healthy habitat and threaten the food supply of other animals. Sometimes, There are more problems than our wildlife agencies can solve on their own, and in certain cases, private groups are permitted to help. These men have permission to trap over-plentiful raccoons in Florida. The animals are being shipped to Tennessee and the Carolinas. The handling of these raccoons in crowded cages is surely unappealing to some. But if they're left in an overcrowded natural habitat, most will soon be dead anyway. Once again, the solution to a problem situation is almost as controversial as the problem itself. In the Appalachian Mountains, coon hunting is a popular sport, so these animals will be sold to hunting clubs. The less productive mountain habitat, along with coon hunters and their dogs, will keep raccoon numbers down. Wildlife habitat is invaluable. Its destruction has far-reaching effects. Regardless of views for or against hunting, all who care about the wild need to work together for habitat preservation. With every acre of habitat lost, our more than 300 national wildlife refuges become all the more important. At Crescent Lake in Nebraska, bull snakes devour many waterfowl eggs. Because ducks are favorite game animals, they're some of our most managed wildlife. Though it eats valuable duck eggs, the bull snake is also important as a well-known predator of rodents. Managers study the bull snake so they can control this predator rather than exterminate it. They know that depleting one species upsets the balance of the entire ecosystem. To help the waterfowl by controlling one of their predators, Crescent Lake managers have invented and built snake traps. The long wings direct hunting snakes into the trap itself. The researchers use the latest in technological advances to learn about the snake's habits. After capturing a snake, it's bagged and taken to refuge headquarters, where the research team will carefully anesthetize it and implant a small radio transmitter into its belly. The transmitter is small enough to not alter the snake's behavior. After the procedure, the snake is then turned loose and followed to its hole by the radio signals. We're now learning that we can have valuable predators like the bull snake and save their prey as well. The hole is flagged for further study of the snake's habits. This elevated Canada goose nest was designed to protect it from snakes, raccoons, weasels, and others. There are no easy answers or permanent solutions. The challenge for the future is to protect our remaining wildlife habitat. Arguments can cloud over the real problems and waste energy. Non-hunters condemn hunting. Industry attacks conservationists. Yet it's to everyone's benefit to preserve the natural world's beauty and diversity. Experts tell us that good environmental management is good business, that we don't have to pit nature against technology. Instead, we can use technology to create a healthy world for all creatures. It's a difficult but necessary work, the vital task of managing wildlife. I'm Marty Stouffer. Until next time, enjoy our wild America.